Top Democrat Schumer calls for new elections in Israel, saying Netanyahu is an obstacle to peace. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on Thursday called on Israel to hold new elections, saying he believes Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has lost his way and is an obstacle to peace in the region amid a growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Schumer, the first Jewish majority leader in the Senate and the highest-ranking Jewish official in the U.S., strongly criticized Netanyahu in a 40-minute speech Thursday morning on the Senate floor. Schumer said the Prime Minister has put himself in a coalition of far-right extremists, and as a result he has been too willing to tolerate the civilian toll in Gaza, which is pushing support for Israel worldwide to historic lows. Israel cannot survive if it becomes a pariah, Schumer said. The high-level warning comes as an increasing number of Democrats have pushed back against Israel and as President Joe Biden has stepped up public pressure on Netanyahu's government, arguing that he needs to pay more attention to the civilian death toll in Gaza amid the Israeli bombardment. The U.S. this month began airdrops of badly needed humanitarian aid and announced it will establish a temporary pier to get more assistance into Gaza via sea. Schumer has so far positioned himself as a strong ally of the Israeli government, visiting the country just days after the brutal October 7 attack by Hamas and giving a lengthy speech on the Senate floor in December, decrying brazen and widespread anti-Semitism, the likes of which we haven't seen in generations in this country, if ever. Schumer says Netanyahu, who has long opposed Palestinian statehood, is one of several obstacles in the way of the two-state solution pushed by the United States. Netanyahu has lost his way by allowing his political survival to take precedence over the best interests of Israel, Schumer said. The majority leader is also blaming right-wing Israelis, Hamas, and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. Until they are all removed from the equation, Schumer said, there will never be peace in Israel and Gaza and the West Bank. The United States cannot dictate the outcome of an election in Israel, Schumer said, but a new election is the only way to allow for a healthy and open decision-making process about the future of Israel at a time when so many Israelis have lost their confidence in the vision and direction of their government. The speech drew a swift reprisal from Republicans. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell said on the Senate floor immediately after Schumer's remarks that Israel deserves an ally that acts like one, and that foreign observers ought to refrain from weighing in. It's just plain wrong for an American leader to play such a divisive role in Israeli politics while our closest ally in the region is in an existential battle for its very survival, the Republican speaker said. Netanyahu has long had a more cozy relationship with Republicans in the United States, most notably speaking at a joint session of Congress in 2015 at the invitation of GOP lawmakers to try to torpedo former President Barack Obama's nuclear negotiations with Iran. Just this week, Netanyahu was invited to speak to Republican senators at a party retreat. Protesters in Israel calling for early elections have charged that Netanyahu is making decisions based on keeping his right-wing coalition intact rather than Israel's interests at a time of war. U.S. priorities in the region have increasingly been hampered by those far-right members of his cabinet who share Netanyahu's opposition to Palestinian statehood and other aims that successive U.S. administrations have seen as essential to resolving Palestinian-Israeli conflicts long-term. In a hot mic moment while speaking to lawmakers after his State of the Union address, Biden promised a come-to-Jesus moment with Netanyahu. Schumer said that if Israel tightens its control over Gaza and the West Bank and creates a de facto single state, then there should be no reasonable expectation that Hamas and their allies will lay down arms. As a democracy, Israel has the right to choose its own leaders, and we should let the chips fall where they may, Schumer said. But the important thing is that Israelis are given a choice.